Hey K-Hawks Nation, it's Coach Malone here. I hope you're well. Welcome to episode 2 of Hawk Talk. I had an awesome opportunity just a few days ago to sit down and talk with Ethan Skender. He is a Central Illinois native and a member of the San Diego Padres organization. Ethan has been good enough over the last couple of years to donate his time and come back in and work with many of our athletes during the K-Hawks Winter Development Camp. And he was just with us again this year where I had an opportunity to sit down with him, talk about his path to professional baseball, how he thinks about preparation, and ultimately the impact that travel baseball really has had on leading him towards the career path that he's on today. So wonderful young man, awesome baseball player, super articulate, and definitely an academic about the game. Really can't wait for you to listen in on that content. But before we do, I want to take just a quick second and thank our sponsor for this episode, K-Hawks Championship Blue sponsor, Chris Kappas, Country Financial. Chris, if you don't know him, is an awesome guy. He's been around the organization for years. He has 2 boys that are playing in the organization currently. He donates his time and has coached for several years, both as an assistant and as a head coach. And he's just a great guy. So, Chris, thank you for making the investment in the boys, both in terms of your sponsorship as well as the time that you invest. We're definitely lucky to have you. That being said, I'm really looking forward to sharing some of the content that and the conversation that Ethan and I had together. Honestly, he's the type of guy that I could sit down and talk baseball with for hours at a time. And I think that there will be a tremendous amount of value, not only to you as parents listening in to what his path has been, but certainly to our athletes who have the same aspirations and are hoping for the same opportunity that Ethan has worked so hard to achieve. So with that being said, I'm really looking forward to sharing this with you and hope you enjoy it as much as I did.
Ethan Skender after a 7-1 Tin Caps win over the Dragons. The third baseman helping to lead the team to the victory today with 3 hits, 3 RBIs, including a 2-run homer. Ethan, congratulations on the monster offensive day.
Hey guys, this is Coach Malone. I am here with Ethan Skender, who is playing out of the San Diego Padres organization. Ethan is a Central Illinois boy out here, back before thinking about getting out to spring training probably in February if everything goes right. But, he's out here helping with the K-Hawks Winter Development Camp. We've got about 100 8 to 12-year-olds out here. And it's awesome to see guys like Ethan coming back out, giving back, and helping other guys, try to chase the same dream that you're chasing, man.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, it's a pleasure to be here. This is my second year doing the camp, and I just have a blast working with the kids. It's funny you bring up Central Illinois because there's a lot of talent here, and it's a little harder for us to get noticed, and it's cool seeing programs like this starting to come about in our in Central Illinois. It's really cool to see this start happening, and this place out here, unbelievable. Would have killed to have this when I was at this age. So, but there's a lot of real special talent in the Central Illinois area. Looking at coaches helping out here today. Right. And then all the talent you got here with all the young kids. It's a special group of kids, and I just really enjoy working with them.
Well, I know that we really appreciate it, and the thing is, you remember when you were their age, and you get a guy in your position who has an opportunity to go play at a high level. It's just inspiring for them to be able to see you chase that dream. So I think it's really cool for you being out here. We definitely appreciate the time. But for those who don't know you, tell us a little bit about your playing career and kind of how you started and all the way up to getting drafted.
Yeah, so pretty much I literally started swinging the bat when I was 2 years old. So I've been playing t-ball and up through my whole life. Didn't really get into the travel scene until I was probably we played Matbo and had some local tournaments, but I didn't really start traveling up until probably 6th grade into 8th grade. We went to some tournaments and kind of got some exposure, and I kind of was thought this might be something I want to do in my future. Nice. So I started taking it serious, and it's these travel teams are so big for exposure nowadays. Like these teams like the K-Hawks. It's like I said earlier, it's really hard to get seen in the Central Illinois area. So it's it's really nice to have teams around here that can help kids get exposure and get in front of the right people's eyes and stuff. So, it's really, it was really good. And then after, my travel days, up until high school days, I wasn't always the biggest kid. I was just talking to Andy over there, and I was telling him that I really didn't even start hitting home runs until I was in 8th grade. I was, I just focused on hitting the ball hard, growing up, and it just kind of started happening. My 6th grade year, I played with my brother on the grade school team, and I had 1 home run that year. 7th grade year, I had 1, and then my 8th grade year, I had 14. So it was kind of just out of nowhere. You see a lot of different kids' sizes out here. Like it just baseball's a sport where size just does not matter.
Right.
And kids develop at different ages nowadays, and it's just how it's always been. And you just gotta, if you're a small kid out there, this is for the small kids, because I was one of them. I would just focus on hitting the ball hard. And just having fun with it. Don't think about the long ball, because I promise when all the work comes in and you start maturing and learning more about yourself and as a hitter, the power will come. I never thought about it, and then all of a sudden I had power. So
right.
It was kind of cool. And then you're gonna go into freshman year. Same difference. The fields got bigger. I was still a little small. I hit 1 home run my freshman year. 0 my sophomore year. I was hurt that year.
Right.
Ended up hitting 11 my junior year, and then I hit 8 my senior year. And I missed 8 games, unfortunately, that year. But I'm just trying to prove a point that it's not all about the long ball. And when you're at this young of an age, it's just more be focused about hitting the ball hard and making contact, and the power is going to come with it, for sure.
I've got a buddy who played up to AAA ball, and the funny thing was I was listening to him talk with one of his buddies that he played in college with, and one was talking about, hey, listen, I was hitting the ball 350 feet, didn't get drafted. You were hitting the ball 275 feet, and you got drafted. He's like, yeah, because I was hitting gaps. So it's one of those things you got to know your game and how to play it. And I think to your point, baseball is a great equalizer. There's a lot more than just strength and size that's out there. High baseball IQ, great work ethic, kids who know how to play in the lane that they're built for. I think they can have tremendous success as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Going off that, a lot of people would ask me who my favorite baseball player is when I was young. And I always looked at it as, who do I see myself becoming out on the major league diamond?
Right.
And I always, since I've been young, have studied Dustin Pedroia. That he's 5'7", 5'8", not a huge guy. He won an MVP.
Right, absolutely.
Won a World Series, done just about as much as you can do as a baseball player. But yeah, I kind of you gotta find. You can't be, a small kid going and watch Barry Bonds highlights, because you're not.
Right.
There's one Barry Bonds. Probably will only ever be one Barry Bonds.
Right.
You can't go out and study a guy like that who's just different body type, different person. Go study players that are the same skill set as you, have the same tendencies as you, and kind of just learn from that, and watch video on them. YouTube's a great place to. I'm always on YouTube, checking in on stuff, and watching hitting videos, trying to learn as much as possible. And YouTube, and social media is just a great place for that nowadays.
I think that kids don't understand how important that studying element is. It doesn't feel like studying when you're out there watching guys that you're impressed by, and then you're kind of chasing that same path that they're on. But the importance of really just sitting down and watching, like I talked to guys who played 10, 15 years ago pro baseball, and they'll tell you, like, I didn't have any of this stuff. We didn't have the dome. We didn't have all the instruction. We didn't have head tracks. We didn't have any of the technology that you guys have. The way that we learned was by watching the guys that we idolized, and to your point, picking guys that we could emulate.
Absolutely. And yeah, you're 100% right. Technology became a huge part of this game, and I kind of learned that when I got pro ball. Like, we have a video room in our complex, and every affiliate site we go to. And when I tell you, we probably did 30 minutes to an hour of video work every day. We go in and watch previous at-bats of our last game. We go and watch some BP that we maybe just took. It's just, you can learn so much from hitting, side view, front, you can just see everything. and just kind of learn more about your swing. And nowadays it's easy. You got cell phones.
Right.
It's very easy to just put up a phone and video your swing, and maybe compare it to what big leaguers are doing, and some people that you want to try to be in the future, and just kind of see where you line up with them, and just learn off that.
So I'm going to take you down a line of questioning here just off of that, because one of the things I think people don't understand is how to put that into practice. Okay, so you've identified, you've seen your videos, you're like, hey, listen, I feel strong here. I know that whatever the case may be, I've got this area or these couple areas where I got to make an adjustment. How do you approach that going into practice and then taking that back into a game? Because obviously you got to be able to think about it when you're going back in and getting ready and adjusting it, but get it out of your mind when you step in the box so you're not late.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'm a little more serious about video when I'm preparing for the season, more so like spring training, and that's when I pretty much will find one thing in my swing. If my swing feels great, I'll just kind of look and see if I see anything. But if it's feeling a little off, I'll see if maybe some of my swings off or something, and go check some video. But I'll usually pick up one thing I see from a video and take that right to the cage. So I'm not going in there thinking about 20 different things. I'm thinking about one thing. My elbow's not getting down. I'm getting out in front. Just one focus, and then that's why there's spring training and you're training for the season.
Right.
Use this stuff in the off season too, because you get that mastered. You get that one thing fixed, and then maybe you can go work on something else that you saw the other day.
Right.
And now it's time to get that thing going. So it's not working on a bunch of different things at once. It's trying to fix one thing and then moving on into the next. And that brings me into the season. So like you said, if you see something, like in the batting cage or on video that you see may be a problem, before a game or something, it's just you have to, go in the cage, get that feel good as possible, get some good swings, and then when it comes game time, it's got to be head clear.
Right.
You cannot be thinking about where your hands are when you're up at the plate. You can't be thinking, I need to, sit back. It's just go do what you've been practicing to do. Let your athletic ability take over, and just be yourself and just have fun with it once you're out there.
You're 100%. It's got to be muscle memory at that point, right? It's got to be automatic. I mean, it's enough even for travel kids who are 12, 13 years old starting to see 70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
The velo guys are throwing, especially at the pro level today, if you're up there thinking you're going to go sit down quick.
No, you're absolutely correct. And even there's nothing wrong with, in the cage, in the cage, I'm a maniac, and they're like, if I do one thing wrong, I'm kind of feeling for it. But in the game, my mind's clear. I'm just trusting my abilities. I've practiced to get in this spot. I know what kind of player I am, and I'm just going to trust my abilities and go up to the plate. And my approach as a hitter, I want to hit the ball hard. That's what I see the pitcher. I want to beat him. I want to hit the ball hard. You hit the ball hard, you win.
Right.
You're not going to get a hit every time you hit the ball hard. That's okay. It's part of the game. But yeah, you can't be going up there with all the thoughts on your head, where your hands are, where your elbow's doing, where your hands are feeling on your bat. It's just got to be. I see that pitcher, and I want to hit him hard. And,
right. So one point I want to make for parents who are watching this, there's really 2 points I want to make. One, you heard Ethan talk about how he's making the major adjustments outside of season, and he's doing that so he can make sure that it's smooth and it's clean once he gets into season, so he's not thinking about it. I want to take that into, for those of you who, I know you love your kids, and I know you spend a lot of time hoping that they succeed, but I promise you when they go up to the plate and you're giving them advice from behind the screen, all you're doing is putting more in their head, which is exactly what a guy like Ethan playing on a high level is trying to get out of. So just know there's a time and a place. Work on those fundamentals and those mechanics earlier before the season. That way they can go in and make small adjustments during the season. So I think that's a huge part of just making it easy, giving them confidence, and not putting too much weight on their shoulders that they got to deal with mom and dad when they get in the car later.
You're absolutely correct. So going off that point, my dad coached me growing up.
Sure.
And I will always say, if I had a bad game, struck out, did whatever, he wouldn't care. He was fine. He knew I worked my butt off I didn't do good that game. It's when he got mad is when I would start throwing emotion. I wouldn't hustle on the field. I'd throw my helmet, stuff like that he knew was going to impact me as a person and player. But yeah, I think, there's nothing wrong with being hard on your kids, but you just got to understand that we're trying out there.
Right.
Your sons, your daughters are trying. And, it's just got to be to a point where, if you see some stuff you don't like, no kid likes being called out in front of their friends. No kid likes being called out in front of other parents. Pull them aside and be kind about it because, that's just the best way to go about it. And, kids, we look up to our parents.
Right.
If we listen to their opinions, if my dad tells me I suck, what am I going to think?
For sure.
So, my dad has just always, I literally could go 0 for 20 when I'd be mad at all. If I jogged down to first on a pop fly one time, it would not be good.
Yeah, my son will tell you the same. So, I coach my son at 13, and, we've had to put a system in place where I want him to have a lever to be able to shut it down. If he wants to talk about the game, I want it to be on him.
Absolutely.
Let him talk through it, get some feedback, let him ask the questions. But what we do is if he takes his hat off and he puts it on the dash of the car, I can't talk baseball anymore. So, but it's purposefully so I give him the ability to shut it down, and when he wants to talk about it, then I think it becomes much more meaningful. But it's never breaking him down. It's always building him back up, because the game will break him down. It's a game of failure. I mean,
it's the hardest game in the world.
Exactly.
It really is. Once you start moving up, it's really hard to hit a 95-mile-an-hour to a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and then you got 3 other pitches to go along with that. It's a really hard game, and you're 100% correct. You got to stay positive, and as a parent, you got to try to keep the positivity flowing for your kids, and just keep positive vibes, because baseball is, like you said, a game of failure. It's a hard game, but the kids, we're having fun with it, and it starts to maybe become not fun for some of the kids if the parents start yelling at them if they're doing bad. It kind of just takes the joy out of the game.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's enough work. I mean, by the time you get to even just a high school level, hitting the weight room, getting, if you're a pitcher, getting in and working with your pitching coach, working with your fielding coach, working with your hitting coach, working with your travel team. I mean, these guys probably play on average 65, 75 games a year already before they go play junior high or high school ball. So, I mean, it's a long road, too, even before you get to playing at the professional level.
You're 100% right. I was just talking back there about, how just these were some of the best days of my life. Playing baseball, travel ball, look at all these kids just having a blast out there.
Right.
Sometimes as a professional athlete, I forget that's what it's about, having fun out there. But, I look at it and it's just like, I have so much fun out on the field, and it's just how you have to play no matter what level you're at. If you ever lose a desire for it, then that's when it's going to start being fun.
Right, absolutely. Just for guys who kind of have that same big dream that you've got, tell us just 2 or 3 things that kind of surprised you or impressed you as you made that step into playing professional baseball.
Yeah, so I would say I didn't become a prospect until I was probably towards this end of my senior year. I went down to junior, which is the biggest. I went there my junior year, did really well there my junior year, and then I went there my senior year, and I put together a really nice tournament again. I hit a home run in front of a lot of scouts. It's actually a walk-off homer. So, and after that, I had my first agent come up to me, and he gave me his card, and it was kind of surreal. I wasn't really a prospect at the point, and I had probably after that game 10 cards from agents,
nice.
Scouts calling me after the game. It's just you never know when you're going to get the opportunity. You never know who's watching you. So you always got to be that same person you're going to be through your career. Every day you go out there, you need to give 100% effort, because like I just said, you never know who's watching. You don't know if a college coach is up there sitting in the stands. You don't know if a professional scout's up there. And hustle, and I will tell you, hustle, being a good character kid, getting along with your teammates, being a great teammate, they notice that stuff more than you think.
Right.
They notice that stuff a lot more than you think, and then add on top of that a great baseball player. What more do they need to see?
Right.
It's just, be a good teammate, be there for everyone, have a smile on your face, and just have fun out there.
That sounds like a guy I want in the dugout. And guys I don't even think realize, as much as they pay attention to everything you just described, they're paying attention to the parents in the stands now too. Listen, you got so many great baseball players out there that you can put on a roster. They don't want to deal with a lot of the other stuff that comes along with it.
Bringing that point up, I've actually had, I've had college coaches tell me personally that they stop recruiting kids because of their parents.
Right.
They've had their parents come up to them, kind of try to, not say the right thing, like they're chirping at the other dugout. It's, you want to, as a parent, you want to come off and as a good character person as well.
Exactly.
Because, you see as a bystander, if I was a coach and I saw very respectable parents, the kids probably didn't feel like this.
Exactly.
If they see parents screaming at their kids in the stands, screaming at other fans, screaming at other kids, it's just, they don't like to see that. And no, that was a great point you just brought up, because it happens. College coaches see parents and they stop recruiting their kids.
Right, more frequently than people realize.
They won't say anything. They won't say that they recruit their kid.
Right.
But they'll just leave.
Exactly.
And you won't hear from them again. And it's sad because it's not the kid's fault.
Right.
So it just brings back what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the last question I want to ask you is, obviously I know that you're getting ready, hoping for that we got a normal 2021 season, get to spring training. Ethan had an awesome season in 2019, had 2020 season cut short. He was a week into spring training when everything got shut down for COVID. So really looking forward for him to get an opportunity and get back out there and play that 2021 season. But tell me a little bit, just anticipating, what's your preparation look like? I got to imagine being as articulate of a guy as you are, and an academic when it comes to the game. You're not just hoping, you got a plan.
Yeah, so obviously, been a lot of hard work put into it. It's as simple as that. You got to put a lot of hard work, and you got to just be disciplined and get your work in. And I'm coming out to Louisville Slugger, getting ground balls 2-3 times a week right now, going to my trainer 5-6 times a week, and I'm hitting with my dad 5-6 times a week. So it's a job.
Yeah,
what you're doing,
for sure.
What I'm doing right now, it's my job to go play professional baseball, and I'm gonna do whatever I can as an employer of that team. They put their trust in me as a player. They put their money in me as a player to give it my all for them, and I want to kind of prove some people wrong and just go out and have a great year and have some fun with it, and just. Yeah, I've been working really hard, and I'm really excited for this next year.
When you barrel up hard, all the work is always worth it, right?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Well, listen, hey, I really appreciate Ethan sitting down with us today. Certainly appreciate you being out here at the camp and working with the kids. I got to tell you, you got a bunch of fans that are out here, all behind you, rooting for you, want to see you do great things. And I know the K-Hawks organization all feel that way about you. So
I appreciate that, sir. It's been a blast, getting to know you guys and getting to know the kids. I look forward to doing it for years to come. So I really appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you. It was great talking to you.
Well, Ethan, great talking to you again, and good luck over the gear. Take care.
I appreciate it.
Well, I hope you were just as impressed with my time with Ethan as I was. I will tell you that I enjoyed my conversation during the interview and afterward with him. We had a long opportunity to talk as well. I'll tell you that it made me kind of reflect on some of the conversations that we have with the boys within the organization, talking about how much of a platform baseball really is, not just about wins and losses, but certainly helping give them the opportunities to develop the characteristics that they're going to need to succeed as young men, personally and professionally. And I'll tell you that, in talking with Ethan, he really just epitomizes those characteristics. So, it's great to see someone who's so resilient, working so hard to be able to achieve something that's been important to them for a very long time. And even though dealing with injuries and potentially some things that could be great setbacks, I think the way that he's addressed those and the attitude that he keeps through those has really just put me in a position to be a big Ethan Skender fan. And I know the entire K-Hawks organization is behind him. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed episode 2 of Hawk Talk. Looking forward to bringing you episode 3 with Trent Johnson, big pitcher from Tulane University. and that will be coming to you soon. So looking forward to sharing my conversation with Trent with you here very soon. In the meantime, I hope you're well, be safe, go Parental.